The room is buzzing with anticipation. On one side, we have Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the young firebrand representing a new wave of politics. Her bright eyes and passionate voice echo the hope of an entire generation. And on the other side, there's Bernie Sanders, the seasoned senator known for his consistent push for progressive policies, who spent decades fighting for the working class. They sit across from each other, the tension palpable in the air. Today, they're supposed to discuss the future, radical changes that could reshape America forever. But things are about to take an unexpected turn. What was supposed to be a productive conversation about the future of the country is rapidly evolving into something much more intense. AOC speaks first, her voice full of energy. Bernie, we can't keep waiting for slow reforms. We've seen enough of incremental change. It's time for a real transformation. We need to break free from the old guard, from the people who benefit from the status quo. The people want bold actions, and they want them now. Bernie leans forward, his brows furrowed. Alexandria, I respect your enthusiasm, but there's a reason I've spent my career fighting for incremental change. It's about creating a foundation that lasts. Radical change without a plan is just chaos. You can't simply tear down the system without knowing how to rebuild it. AOC shakes her head, her face set with determination. But that's just it, Bernie. We've been rebuilding for years and nothing changes. The rich get richer and the poor are left behind. We have to be bold enough to create the kind of society we know is possible. We can't wait for people who've been in power for decades to wake up. It's now or never. The crowd is captivated. You can feel the room leaning in, hanging on every word. This is more than a debate. It's a clash of ideologies. And as the sparks fly, something unexpected is starting to emerge. The tension rises as Bernie counters, his voice a bit more strained. Alexandria, this isn't about age or energy. It's about being realistic. We can't make sweeping changes without understanding the consequences. You talk about revolution, but revolution isn't just about slogans. It's about lives. People need stability, not upheaval. And that's when it happens. AOC doesn't back down. She stands tall, her voice unwavering. Bernie, we've had stability for too long. Stability for the wealthy, stability for the powerful, but not for the people. It's time for us to take risks, to be uncomfortable. The future demands it. The room falls silent for a moment. The force of her words hangs in the air, and you can see Bernie pause, as if he's considering her challenge. But the silence is short-lived. I can't agree with you, Alexandria, Bernie says, his voice low but firm. We're on different paths here. The stage is set. What started as a conversation about radical change is now turning into a full-blown ideological clash. The tension is palpable, and the direction this debate will take is anyone's guess. The debate has shifted. No longer are they just talking about the future. They're now at odds about what kind of futures is even worth pursuing. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, with all her youthful vigor, isn't about to back down. She leans in, her eyes locked on Bernie's, and says with fierce determination, you can't keep holding on to the old ways just because they're familiar. We've seen where that got us. It's time for a change, Bernie. We need to push the envelope. We can't wait for the world to be ready. We need to demand it. The room's energy shifts. There's something undeniably magnetic about AOC's words. People have been waiting for a voice like hers. Someone who speaks with the boldness of a generation that refuses to wait for permission to make a difference. But Bernie, though passionate, is cautious. Alexandria, I've spent my entire career pushing for real change. And I've learned that the only way to make lasting progress is through strategy, not by throwing the system into chaos. AOC's response is quick, almost cutting. Strategy? Bernie's strategy is what got us here, where the 1% thrive while everyday people struggle. If we keep playing it safe, we'll never get the change we need. The people are ready for a revolution, and I'm not talking about an uprising. I'm talking about a revolution in how we think about our country. We need policies that center the people, not the elites. At this point, the conversation has clearly escalated. It's no longer just about different political views. It's about the soul of the movement. AOC is pushing for a complete shift, while Bernie's path is more traditional, more rooted in the way things have been done for decades. The tension in the room is palpable. And then, unexpectedly, AOC drops the bombshell. Bernie, I respect everything you've done, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. If we don't challenge the system, if we don't push for real, radical change, we'll be stuck in the same endless cycle of reform that never truly solves the problems we face. Bernie's face tightens. This is more than a difference of opinion. It's a generational clash. The elder statesman, who spent decades fighting within the system, is now faced with a younger, bolder voice, challenging everything he's worked for. Alexandria, Bernie says slowly, his voice growing cold, you're playing with fire. Radical ideas sound great in theory, but you can't build a society of dreams alone. It's not practical, and you risk tearing apart everything we've worked for. There's an audible shift in the room. People are starting to take sides. The discussion has turned into more than just a debate. It's a battle of ideals, a clash of visions for the future. And as the tension rises, so does the uncertainty about where this will all lead. The back and forth is intense now. Bernie Sanders, the seasoned veteran of American politics, finds himself struggling to keep up with the fiery resolve of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He has spent his entire career fighting for a better future, but AOC, with her unflinching belief in immediate action, is pushing him into a corner he's not used to. Bernie, AOC continues, her voice rising with passion. I know you've fought for the working class, but your approach doesn't address the root of the problem. You're trying to patch up a broken system that can't be fixed with Band-Aids. We need a complete overhaul. The room falls silent for a brief moment as everyone waits for Bernie's response. His eyes are narrowed, his jaw clenched. He knows this moment is pivotal. But instead of backing down, he doubles down. You think a complete overhaul is the answer? Bernie's voice is tinged with disbelief. You want to tear down everything we've built just for the sake of starting fresh. That's naive, Alexandria. You'll leave millions of people behind in the process. This isn't a fantasy. This is real life. There's a reason for the structures we've built. They provide stability. People need that stability. AOC stands tall, her stance unshaken. Stability? Stability for whom? Not for the people who are struggling day in and day out. Not for the ones who can't afford health care, who live paycheck to paycheck, or who have no hope of ever owning a home. We've been given stability for the powerful, Bernie. It's time for something new. It's time for the people to rise up and demand what they deserve. The intensity in the room is escalating. AOC is not backing down, and Bernie knows it. But there's something else brewing. Something that will soon turn this debate into something even more explosive. You think you have all the answers, don't you? Bernie snaps, his voice rising in frustration. But you're forgetting one crucial thing. You can't just change everything overnight. You have to work within the system to change it. You can't burn everything to the ground and expect it to work. AOC takes a deep breath, her eyes never leaving Bernie's. I'm not asking to burn everything down, Bernie. I'm asking for real, bold action. And if that means challenging the system, so be it. The system is broken and the people are demanding change. They're tired of waiting for you to make up your mind. The debate has taken a dramatic turn. What started as a discussion about radical change has now shifted into a personal confrontation. The stakes have never been higher. AOC is pushing Bernie to reconsider his cautious approach, and in doing so, she's challenging the very foundations of the movement they both fought for. But just as the conversation seems like it's on the verge of completely unraveling, AOC steps back for a moment. She takes a breath, her face softening, as if trying to regain some composure. But the damage is done. This is no longer just about politics. This is about the future of the movement, and it's a fight for the soul of progressivism. The air in the room has grown thick with tension. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders have gone from allies in the fight for a better America to bitter opponents, each firmly entrenched in their own vision for the future. But despite the fierce disagreement, it's clear that the conversation is far from over. This isn't just a political debate, it's a clash of ideals, a battle for the heart and soul of the future. Bernie, who had long been seen as the leader of the progressive movement, is now caught in a corner. His ideas, though well-intentioned, seem increasingly out of touch with the urgency of the world around him. AOC, with her relentless push for change, has called into question everything he's worked for. And for the first time, Bernie's resolve wavers. This isn't just about ideas, Alexandria, Bernie says, his voice now tinged with exhaustion. This is about real lives, real people. You can't just throw everything away without thinking about the consequences. AOC's response is nothing short of a rallying cry. We've been thinking about the consequences for decades, Bernie. And what has it gotten us? More of the same. More suffering for the working class, more inequality, and more power for the people who don't need it. The system has failed, and it's time to stop pretending that small fixes will solve the problem. The crowd is on edge. They can feel the shift in the atmosphere. AOC isn't just defending her ideas. She's standing up for a generation that has been left behind. She's the voice of the youth, of the disenfranchised, of those who have spent too long waiting for change that never comes. Bernie, who once championed the people's cause, looks at AOC with a mixture of respect and concern. I don't want to see this movement fall apart, Alexandria, he says quietly. But I fear that your vision, your radical approach, could tear everything down. AOC stands tall, her face resolute. Bernie, this movement isn't about preserving the status quo. It's about pushing the boundaries and demanding more. We can't let fear of the unknown hold us back any longer. The people are ready for change, and I won't let anyone, no matter how well-intentioned, stop us. In that moment, it's clear that AOC has won this debate. Her message resonates with the crowd, and the passion in her voice speaks to the hopes of millions who feel unheard, forgotten, and ignored. Bernie's caution, though well-meaning, can no longer keep up with the urgency of AOC's vision. As the debate draws to a close, the audience erupts in applause. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has not only stood her ground, she has proven that her vision for the future is the one that will drive real change. She's the new face of progressivism, the future of American politics, and the hero of this debate. And as the applause dies down, AOC's final words echo in the room. This is just the beginning. We've only just begun to fight for the world we deserve. If you've been inspired by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's powerful words, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The revolution has only just begun, and we want you to be part of it. Share your thoughts below. Let's keep the conversation going.